A judge arrested by the FBI, a secret courthouse escape. This isn't the plot for some movie. This is just how exciting the immigration system and the crackdown has gotten in the United States, and it is sure to shake the court system and the justice system to its very core. So stay tuned while we go through this trending topic and see how justice is clashing with immigration policies and where it will all lead. Stay tuned.
According to a criminal complaint, when Judge Dugan heard about the planned arrest, she became visibly angry and commented that the situation was absurd. Then the FBI says the judge instructed Ruiz to leave through a back door of the courtroom, then escorted Ruiz and his attorney to another non-public door. According to the documents, Ruiz made it outside and sprinted down the street before he was arrested after a foot chase.
Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and our success. Now, on April 25, 2025, a Milwaukee court judge by the name of Hannah Dugan was actually taken into custody by the FBI for helping an immigrant to evade the justice system. Now, here's a step-by-step guide as to what had happened. Now, Eduardo Flores-Ruiz, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly, was actually alleged to be in the courthouse of Judge Dugan, and he was actually being tried for a case of domestic violence. But what happened is that Judge Dugan learned that ICE was actually outside the courthouse waiting upon his release so that he could have been detained and then face deportation proceedings. I am not sure as to what happened, if she felt sympathetic towards Eduardo, but she actually allowed him to use one of those side courtroom doors. Those doors are normally preserved for persons who were coming to the courthouse that were actually in custody, or it was reserved for jury members to enter the courthouse, or maybe by other legal representatives or lawyers themselves. So it's not really known by the public. It is very private. Sometimes you might have confidential witnesses that need to enter the courthouse without being observed by the public. So what she actually did is to allow him, tipped him off that ICE was actually outside, and allowed him to leave through this private exit. Now, it really didn't make sense because he was later chased down. It was an active foot chase. He was not fast enough to escape from the ICE agents, and he was actually captured by them along the streets. Now, Judge Dugan, thinking that she was safe and that she had done her good deed for the day and assisted an immigrant, she was picked up the next morning in public view by FBI, and now she is facing a couple charges. Now, she is facing 2 federal charges, and I'm going to actually be reading them for you. The first one is that concealing to prevent arrest, and I'm not sure of if that charge is accurate, because I know that the justice system, they will have certain interpretation and definition for words, but concealing, I don't think she concealed him, because then it would hint that maybe he was hiding within the courthouse. She actually just assisted him in escaping, not concealing. But I don't know what the legal definition is for the term. I would understand if they had charged her with assisting a fugitive. I don't know, but it just does not make sense to me. The next charge is obstructing or impeding a proceeding. This I can understand, because she actually obstructed them from apprehending the immigrant because he was facing deportation or whatever charges he was facing, and therefore ICE did not get to detain him. Now, each of those charges, they carry up to 5 years in terms of sentences. And these are federal charges, as I mentioned before, so it's getting pretty serious. But I think what is of more concern is that things have reached to such a level that now judges are being apprehended and being charged if it is that it is found that they are obstructing immigration processes. Remember as well that the Trump administration is now very upset with many judges because they find that they are actually impeding or slowing up the process of deportation. So you will find that a message is now being sent to all judges that the Trump administration is fearing no one. They are actually stating that no one is above the law. So if it is that you are found to be impeding their immigration process and for them to be deporting persons, then you are going to be in problems with the justice system or in problems with the Trump administration in general. Just take a listen to what President Donald Trump and the press secretary mentioned in these clips that I'm going to be showing you right now.
These are judges that just want to, show how big and important they are. We have hundreds of thousands of people that we want to get out of the country, and the courts are holding us back.
I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not. And we're sending a very strong message today.
Of course, you know that this is not going down well with Democrats, civil rights activists, and some of the public in general. Legal scholars have actually blasted the action that it is a political overreach and that it is an attack on judicial independence. Immediately as Judge Dugan was taken into custody, then several protests have sparked outside of the courthouse and in different cities in Milwaukee. But let's look again, is this the first time that a judge has been taken into custody for doing something like this? Not at all, because in 2019, Judge Shelley Joseph was actually taken into custody for a similar situation. However, that's a different time, because it sparked such controversy that the case was ultimately dropped because of a couple things, especially because there was a change in administration and the Biden administration was sympathetic, has always been viewed as sympathetic towards immigrants, so the case was dropped. However, this is a different time, a different administration, and it is well known that the Trump administration is quite frustrated with the slow process of deportation and the intervention of too many judges. One thing is sure though, that there are going to be different views, and I'm sure you're going to be placing it in the comment section below. As a matter of fact, place in the comment section below if you think that this judge went too far in terms of her humanitarian thinking and beliefs, or if it is that she was right to try to assist this immigrant in not facing the ICE deportation, or rather detention. I am sure that across the United States is going to be sparking furious and vigorous and aggressive debate, but what it sadly says though is that we have now reached a stage in the immigration crackdown that, as it is said, it is reaching towards detention of judges if their action is seen to be in violation of the ICE orders or intentions. This is surely a situation where it clearly shows that the immigration crackdown system is clashing with the justice system and the justice administration, and it is bound to shape the landscape of immigration proceedings going forward. All in all, as I have mentioned to you before, if it is that you are in need of any consultation for immigration services, contact the agency listed on the screen now so that you can get up to 60 minutes free consultation once you mention that you are a subscriber to this channel. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and see you in the next video.